All right. Hello. Welcome to a new video. And today we have the gameplay patch 7.34b that just released right now. And I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of nervous actually reading and going through this. One of the very obvious reason is it's been literally like 4 days, not even a week, that the Invoker became strong. Invoker became good to play. After many years of being only a few ways you could play Invoker, and that would be either go for right click, and that was good only not too long ago. Or you could go for the Vex thing, which was the normal build, the Quas and Vex build. If you don't know what that means, if you're not an Invoker player, I mean the Tornado and EMP Blast and Cold Snap build and Vessel. Since they made Invoker a universal hero and they made changes to the Vessel, it indirectly buffed that part of Invoker a lot as well for the Quas Vex enjoyers, right? And now I'm about to read it and I'm seeing that there are changes to Spirit Vessel, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a nerf, so which would indirectly nerf all universal heroes who carry Spirit Vessel. Could be Clock as well. Did you guys know that Clockwork was also a universal hero? Mainly Invoker. So he has been super strong in one way, the Invoker, the Ghost Walk. But other way is that Spirit Vessel goes really great on him. I'm not diving too deep into what made Invoker really strong recently, which are a lot of things that come into accumulation, which comes together, and together in a set they are really good, and then it makes it really strong when you consider all of those little things that add up: the cooldown reduction, the amplification, the Ghost Walk. But the main thing that I personally feel like that they should have changed is only Ghost Walk. I haven't spoiled myself, I don't know what are the changes, but I'm very certain the amount of posts and feedback were coming about Invoker, Witch Doctor, Invoker, and Spirit Vessel. I absolutely thought that they will be nerfed, and I'm pretty sure they will be. But I'm telling you that Invoker is in a very sensitive spot. If they just balance it, nerf it a little bit too much, one of the things that makes Invoker who he is, the new Invoker, the newest version of Invoker, it's going to be unplayable and weakest forever until they, change and patch him again. But right now he became powerful and much different, so there's a learning curve as well, kind of, to maximize the efficiency. But generally he is stronger than before, that's for sure, because they absolutely nerfed them to the ground in 7.33 because of the meteor changes, a lot of things. But this patch is, I hope, not too severe, and I'm not going to ramble any more further than I already have about Invoker, because this video is about 7.34b patch. So let's continue. Item changes to the Glimmer Cape. Glimmer Cape cooldown increased from 12 seconds to 14 seconds. Spirit Vessel recipes unchanged. Total cost decreased by 200. But the old urn required you to, the old Spirit Vessel required you to have Urn of Shadows, Crown, and Recipe. And the total cost was this. Now the total cost has been reduced by 200. And the new recipe is you need Urn of Shadows, Crown, and a Fluffy Hat. All attributes bonus decreased from 12 to 6, because 12 attributes was massive to any universal hero, but now it's 6, so it's much lower. It's very less. It's 50% less. It's really bad. Now provides 1 to 5 health, which is absolutely irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant, and it's quite sad actually, because Vessel was dead for a long time, Urn was dead for a long time, and they buff him with Invoker, and now they absolutely like just made him super weak right now. Sorry, made it super weak. I hope they did not make him super weak, but we'll see though. Hero changes: Abaddon, Mist Coil self damage decreased from 50% to 40%, damage heal increased. Okay, cast rate also increased. Alchemist, base armor increased by 1, bonus movement speed increased from 20 to 60 to 30 to 60. Arc Warden, base armor increased by 1, cooldown decreased for the magnetic field from 20 seconds to 20 to 17 seconds. This with Octarine Core, nobody's gonna talk about how low that cooldown is. Whatever, man. Because everybody was talking about how low cooldown Invoker spell become. Anyways, let's continue. Bounty Hunter, Shuriken Toss, damage increase from 80 to 200 to 100 to 220, a little bit more in higher early phase of the game. Brewmaster, they made Brewmaster pretty strong, great buffs, but I'm sure they're gonna nerf it now. Fire Sense critical damage increase from 145 to 190% to 120 to 180%. Okay, it's not super bad. It's bearable. The things that makes him stronger still makes him stronger. I like the change. They didn't go overboard with it. Bristleback strength gain increased from 2.5 to 2.7. Base mana region increased from 0.25 to 0.4. That's nice. Okay. Crystal Clone. This is the new shard, by the way. AoE increased from 300 to 400. That's good. Slight more buff, I guess. Dazzle, Shadow Wave, heal damage increase from 60 to 135 to 75 to 130. Okay. Alright, Earth Spirit, second spell was super busted. It was super powerful now. I mean, Earth Spirit was already powerful in the hands of very good players. But he wasn't super powerful. But now the change that they made, that he's invulnerable, like his spirit brothers that have some sort of invulnerability. They made it so that his role would make him invulnerable. All right. Rolling Boulder, delay increase from 0.5 seconds to 0.6. Okay, that is not super nerfed, so I like that. He's still super strong right now. That is 0.1 second difference. It's not much because he's already doing it for 0.5 second, but it's getting closer to 1 second, I guess. So, you know, maybe in some situation that 0.1 second is going to make him get caught and stunned before he becomes invulnerable. That's fine. That's good. Maybe I would give it plus 2 second cooldown also. The cooldown increase for 2 seconds more at max level. But I guess they were not too severe with him. Let's go for Enchantress. Strength gain increase from 1.7 to 2.0. Okay. Enigma, they nerf him a lot for no reason. Every patch, Enigma gets nerfed for some reason, and I hope they adjust him so he's not as bad, but I'm sure they're not going to make any severe changes, but maybe they will reduce the nerfs that they did. Demonic Summonings, Demonic Conversion renamed to Demonic Summoning is now a point target ability with 400 cast range. Mana cost decreased 140 to 170 and 75 to 150. Okay. Alright, I see Invoker. It's time. I didn't get to play Invoker as much as I would like. I was a little too busy, and I'm kind of worried that they may have absolutely destroyed him. Alright, let's dive into it. Invoker base armor decreased by 1. Wax cooldown reduction no longer works on items. I don't know, that is very painful. That is painful to see, but again, it still works on his ability to cast spells, which is insanely good. But obviously, someone was sharing how it would be like 7 second on 7 second cooldown on the Scythe of Vice. You're like chicken for 2.5 seconds and then, or 2.7 near 3 seconds, and then you're after almost 4 seconds you're a chicken again. So I guess that's fine, but it has a lot more implications that meets the eye. You would think that it's just small change, like Vex not affecting cooldown reduction, Vex cooldown reduction not affecting the items, like it wouldn't be that big. But what are the items other than heroes' abilities? Items is what enables a hero, so it includes everything, right? It includes the boots of travel, it includes the BKB, Scythe of Bias, and refresher also. So a lot of things were affected, and you know, the most important thing for the early phase was the Hands of Midas, the cooldown reduction on that. Even though it's little, but it all adds up. By the time you have ridiculous amount of cooldown reduction, it's already late game, so you're only benefiting to get stronger while you're already in late game. Ghost Walk needed nerf, that is all. Ghost Walk needed nerf, let's see. But I hope it's not absolutely broken, like they don't absolutely nerf him to the ground. Nerf this ability, sorry. I think it should be halved. Let's see. Health regeneration decreased from 10 to 80 to 10 to 45. Yeah, that's more than half actually. Mana regeneration decreased from 5 to 40 to 2.5 to 20. Okay, that is a little bit strict overall because I did say half, but it should have been like, in my opinion, from 10 to 80 to 10 to 60. From 5 to 40 to 3 to 35 or 25, but that's fair. All right, let's read more. Okay, health and mana regeneration are disabled if Invoker took player control damage in the last 3 seconds. Wow, that is a big nerf. Because if you don't do this, this is good enough, right? You just have to touch Invoker once through right click of even a crystal mid support, and then he would not have all of the regions in the Ghost Walk. Because he don't have normal region anymore. You have to consider that. He don't have the cost anymore, the region from that. So the only way for him to regen is through the Ghost Walk. And I'm not sure because they already nerfed the Ghost Walk regeneration into half, but also that if you take any damage, just like the old hard days, Heart of Thrust days, that it will stop giving you the regen. So that is just not so great because I have seen clip, I have noticed that, you know, people are hitting him, but because they lack stun, he just Ghost Walks and teleports out. So the best way to teleport out is using Ghost Walk first. Firstly, why? Because they may not have any detection. And secondly, even if they do have detection, the regen would help him be much stronger. So yeah, man, I mean, they should have either reduced the regen thing or do the 3-second thing. I think doing both of them together is a little too much. Because no matter what your region is, if it's going to be disabled after taking damage in the last 3 seconds, it shouldn't matter. Even if it could be like 300 region, but if you're hit in the last 3 seconds, it's disabled for the next 3 seconds until, you know, you don't take any more damage. So I think either it should have been this or this. Also, the number, I did say it should have been halved, but I think when I see the number and when I know that how it's going to feel like in reality, I think mana regen thing is a little too much still. I mean, it's okay, the mana regen, but HP regen should be more than that. It should be, as I said, I'm gonna say it again, repeat myself. Where's Invoker? Yeah. So the early stages is fine. It's whatever. It's not that big. I mean, it is a big of a deal because Ghost Walk costs a lot of mana to cast in early phases, and since Invoker is no longer intelligence hero, it's just it doesn't have that much mana to deal a lot of you know, spells, cast a lot of spells. So casting Ghost Walk, the regen isn't that great in the early phases. So it's even more now good to use Ghost Walk to regen at the start of the fight or after the fight rather than in the middle of the fight. Remember, when you're casting Ghost Walk, obviously you cannot right click anyone, you cannot use items, or you can use spells, because then it would break Ghost Walk and the regen would be gone, and then Ghost Walk also goes on cooldown. It's not like it's a no cooldown ability. It has a cooldown and it's almost half a minute, more than half a minute, right? So it's not like you can cast it all the time. But you need to remember that the cooldown reduction from the Vex also reduces the cooldown of this. So it would be like 25 seconds or something like that. But yeah, it's not super harsh, but I would say it is still harsh. Hopefully there's no big nerf in the talents, otherwise it would be so bad. Talent Tornado cooldown reduction decreased from 6 seconds to 4 seconds, and Talent Cold Snap cooldown reduction decreased from 8 to 5. This is okay. This is not too severe, but this is so big. Cooldown reduction no longer working on items. This is just incredibly big and bad for Invoker. Yeah. I'm glad that no other changes were made to nerf him in the other buffs, because none of the other buffs were being talked about or brought up. Everyone was talking about the Ghost Walk, right? So Ghost Walk, I knew that it was going to get nerfed, and I also agreed with that because that was a little too much, as I said, and that is true. But I mean, I don't know. 10 to 80 to 10 to 45, but the mana regen reduced. I think this should be more. HP regen should be more. I think 60 is a happy medium. That's my suggestion. Also, this should be 2 seconds. Shouldn't be 3 seconds. It should be like 2 seconds. I wouldn't say 1 second. 2 seconds is fine. Or just don't do this at all, because it's just so bad. If you have this too, with the reduction to the health and mana regen, is just way too bad. Because this alone also nerfs the hero so severely. The things that made him good, this was also a big part of it. The cooldown reduction on the boot of travel, you can go up and down the lanes. You can fight, you can join the fight while you're pushing. Everything just worked together so well. The cooldown reduction, you have BKB ready, and if you buy refresher now, it is not so much of a, you know, dead item, because, well, you can refresh and cast a spells like back in the good old days, right? And not be punished as much, because you know that the cooldown reduction is helping you, so you can have the refresh again in the next fight, or if they buy back and you're trying to push high ground or something like that. So it is interesting to see, definitely, but it's kind of sad to see. It is interesting and sad at the same time that they thought that no longer working on the items, it's the right way to do it. I would personally say the best course of action, the happy middle, would be that it does work on items, but for the half value. I'm not sure how hard it would be to code for that, but the cooldown reduction should be halved on items, right? It shouldn't be completely removed, but halved on items. So instead of 44% cooldown reduction, for example, it should be 22% cooldown reduction. That is my humble opinion about that. These things are not super bad, but this whole thing is pretty bad. But let's see. I have to play. I will play, and I will share more experience about that. This is one of the best hero and character in video games, period. Invoker. And is such a cool concept, and even in the series of the anime as well, the lore as well, it's just a beautiful hero. And it is very disheartening to see that for a very long time there were only two ways to play, as I mentioned earlier as well: cross wax or right click. There was no other way. If you're playing Exort, you're just out of touch, and I was out of touch because I love playing Exort. So even he wasn't in the meta, I used to go for Exort thing, and I used to ask my teammates to go for Void or Tidehunter so they could do that, and I could just cast my spells and do my thing. Back in the day when your deafening blast used to actually kind of cast a hard stun so people cannot move, would not let you depend on your team as much. If you're doing good and you have the blast, you can just use it and use your spells and do the combo, and it's so beautiful back in the day. You can search it on YouTube. There's definitely going to be videos of that, but then they changed it a lot, and now after many years they've changed the hero in a very major way. So I would say that they should reconsider some of the changes slightly. But I know that some change is a good way to go for it for now, and let them observe as well, like how it's going, how the games are being played, and what's the impact of these changes. So maybe in future they can realize that perhaps we can do this instead of what we did. Like, cooldown reduction is halved on the items. Ghost Walk, health regeneration, and mana regeneration is to the maximum. Mana regeneration used to be 40, right? So instead of 20, we make it 30. Health regeneration used to be 80. We do that, not 45, but rather 60. And yeah, these things are fine. These are not super bad because the Vex adds a lot of cooldown reduction to the spells. Then you would have Octarine Core. This doesn't really affect anything at all. But yeah, health and mana regeneration disabled should be, instead of 3 seconds, it should be 2 seconds. If you want to keep that, I would suggest that you shouldn't, because people are complaining about this a lot, but it's very easy to deal with this. All you have to do is buy a vessel. A support can buy it. And then there are also other abilities like Drow Rangers, Aghanim's, and Scotty and Shiva's. I am telling you that not specifically buy for Invoker, right? Because these are expensive items. But supports or offlaners usually go for a vessel. But now with the changes, I do understand that most offlaners would not prefer that. But again, if Invoker's Ghost Walk is such a big of a problem, just buy a vessel. Oh, they have an Invoker, we're gonna buy a vessel if he goes for the Ghost Walk. It's simple as that. There's not a lot of thought that's needed behind that at all. And generally speaking, there's a Shiva's Guard or a Scotty in the game as well, so that reduces the regen severely. And it's something to keep in mind when you think about the Ghost Walk in general. So having it disabled as well after all of this, like, you can still buy Vessel. It was very great to buy Vessel earlier when his Ghost Walk was broken, because this thing was clearly way too much. 80 regen, that's almost a hard, and then 40 mana regen is insane. Imagine if Storm Spirit had 40 mana regen. It is just insane. So, but again, when you're in Ghost Walk, you need to remember that you're not casting any spells, you're not hitting anyone, or you're not doing anything. It's not a passive regen that he's continuously getting while he's casting spells, while he's fighting. Ghost Walk is used either to initiate or when you're hiding and regening up. And in those states, you can have, it doesn't really matter that much that how much regen and mana you're regenerating. It's like Slark's ultimate regenerating, right? So Invoker doesn't have an ultimate. He has a lot of spells that get stronger, so the regen gets stronger over time. It's not like that at level 1 he's getting 40 or 80 regen. Over time he gets stronger, so that's natural. Over time all heroes get stronger. Complaining about 80 regen in other strength heroes buy hard and they get like 160 regen. Yes, they have to buy hard for that, but I'm just giving you an example right there. It's just that there's a lot of ways to deal with the regen thing. It's not super big deal, but I know that you just took a fight and instead of going home you can just regen it up. But Invoker already excelled at that with his quas. Like even if you remove the whole region on the Ghost Walk concept, he still had quas to heal up. But now quas no longer heals. Remember, as quas you can cast spells and you're still healing up. If you want to heal, you can just go hide in a tree and just quas it up, buy a few clarities. Now going into Ghost Walk, remember it costs a lot of mana too, especially in the early phase of the game, and the mana region on the early phase of the game has been reduced quite a lot. Alright, that's enough for the Invoker rant. I hope they make it better again. Not broken, but better. But this will give some time to see how it's going, how the changes are working out. Jakiro, Macro Pyre, Aghanim Scepter, Ice Wall, movement slow. Decreased from 70 to 60%. Yeah, Jakiro got way too strong. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in a sense that I like to see strong heroes than super weak heroes. I don't like seeing super weak heroes in my team or even facing in the enemy team. It's good to know that heroes can be strong. Even recently I got pretty destroyed by Lina, and that was interesting because I thought Lina was dead, but somehow Lina was pretty good. Anyways, there's a lot of factors that goes in on some hero being good too, by the way. It's not just the hero changes, but yeah, they all obviously play a part. So level 10 talent, dagger decreased from 278 to 250. Level 20 talent, macropyre damage decreased. Okay. Burn duration increased 2 to 3 seconds. Wow, a little bit more buff. Talent damage increased from 20 to 25. Talent has increased 275 to 325. That's big. These are big changes and good. Base strength increased from 18 to 20. Luna, Moonglaves, Aghanim Shot Orbit Radius increased. Aghanim Shot Collision Radius increased. And Cooldown decreased. Yeah, that's good. Magnus, Shockwave. Aghanim Shard damage multiplier and return increased from 50 to 75%. Empower bonus 70 increased 40%. 12 to 36 to 16 to 40%. 10 to 40% to 16 to 40%. That's good stuff. Strikes per fury increased from 3 to 5 to 4 to 6. That's good. Arena of Blood spear damage increased. Meepo projectile speed increased from 900 to 1000. When catch anti-mages trying to run away, because Aeros is kind of bad on Meepo now. Mirana, Mirana, level 20 talent damage increased from 35 to 45. Level 25 talent Starstorm damage increased from 200 to 250. Monkey King Primal Spring cooldown decreased from 20 to 14 seconds to 18 to 12 seconds. Mischief no longer limits movement speed to 200. Now grants 10% bonus movement speed. Morphling Strength gain increased from 3 to 3.2. Hunter in the Night, Aghanim Scepter mana cost increased 0 to 50. Aghanim Shard cooldown increased. Omni Knight Repel cooldown decreased from 60 to 45 to 60 to 36. Pangolier Strength gain increased from 2.5 to 2.7. Okay, and Shield Crash mana cost also decreased. Phantom Assassin base agility decreased by 2. Lifesteal now has a 40% penalty on creeps. I don't know if PA needed any of the nerfs. That's just uncalled for. Ricky base attack speed decreased from 100 to 90. Yeah, Ricky got 2 buff. Attack speed, but the nerf doesn't seem that big. Minus attack speed, I guess. Link duration decreased from 0.5 to 0 second. Okay, it no longer lingers. That's good for the Ricky enemies, I guess. Level 15 talent tricks or tricks of the trade. Agility increased. Decreased from 40% to 30%. Backstab multiplier decreased from 0.4 to 0.3. Minor nerfs, but good enough. Better than what state he's in currently. Level 25 talent tricks of the trade cooldown reduction decreased from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Rubik impact radius rescale from 325 to 300 to 375. Level 15 talent 0.4 second. Telekinesis left duration replaced by 0.4 second. Telekinesis left or stun duration. Sand King was very busted. Let's see if they nerf it a little bit. Burst strike damage decreased. PSM decreased. Sandstorm movement speed decreased. Epicenter, Aghanim pulse interval increased from 2.5 to 3.5 seconds. Okay, that's I think 3 would be fine, but a whole 1 second is pretty okay to deal with. Aghanim shard pulse now only slows 50% of the duration of the regular epicenter now. That's fine. Talents, level 50 talent, 125 sandstorm radius replaced with 25 sandstorm movement speed. Ooh, that's big. Slaughter bash of the deep, water bonus stamina decreased. And the talents from Guardian sprint cooldown reduction decreased from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Snapfire. Fire snap cookie restore health increased from 125 to 175. TH's stun duration increased from 0 to 1.25 second to 0.8 to 1.4 second. And protector damage of the leech seed increased from 20 to 65 to 25 to 70. Undying hero inside the tombstone with the Aghanim shard are now stunned for 3 seconds if it gets destroyed. Wow. That can be pretty big grief at times. Flash Golem bonus movement speed decreased. Vengeful spread. Well, they did not nerf the second spell of Vengeful, which became insanely good against Universal Hero especially. Magic Missile stun duration increased from 1.1 to 1.4 seconds to 1.4 to 1.7 seconds. Wow, that's good. Warlock base attack speed decreased from 100 to 90, and Imp movement speed also decreased. 320 to 380 to 300 to 360. Winter Wyvern Splinter Blast. Mana cost decreased from 105 to 150 to 101 to 135. Cooldown decreased from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. Talents. Level 15 Talent Arctic Burn debuff duration increased from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. Talent Arctic Burn slow increased from 12% to 17%. More buffs. Interesting. Witch Doctor base damage decreased by 3. Intelligence gain decreased from 3.3 to 3.1. Death Ward attack range decreased from 700 to 600, and cooldown increased. Not severe changes, that's good enough. Death Ward attack range decreased from 100 to 75, and Death Ward damage decreased from 6 to 45. That's good enough. These are fair changes actually. He's still very strong, but he's not that strong. And even if he's strong, there's a lot of cooldown there. That's good enough. Wraith King strength gain decreased, and Aghanim's after cooldown reduction decreased. Alright guys, that was it for the patch gameplay update 7.34b. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like and subscribe. As always, take care and have yourself a damn good one. Never give up. Peace.